Hey folks, Tito here with your Black and Gold Blitz. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on Twitter at ThitHappens. At ThitHappens. That's where you can find me on Twitter. Go to fantasysports.com. Check out all the great content we have right now. Lots of good things being added all the time, every day. New shows, new content you can consume by listening or reading, whatever. We got great stuff going on. Again, fanstreamsports.com. All right, let's talk the Steelers now. Tough loss last week to the Bears. Aaron Rodgers sat out, and they lose with Mason Rudolph under center. This week, they've got the Buffalo Bills. Rodgers should be back. Let's first talk about the game against the Bears. I don't know if Rodgers would have made that big of a difference. And it's tough winning in Chicago. There is no doubt about that. It's not an easy win there. Chicago, look, they're a decent team this year. And so there's no shame in losing that game. There's shame in the fact that the Steelers are now sitting there on 6-5 after the start they had, and they had plenty of chances to seal this division up and didn't do it. Now the Ravens are back in the mix. Matter of fact, if the season ends right now, the Ravens are in, the Steelers are OUT out. Which brings us to an interesting game here on Thanksgiving weekend. They're hosting the Bills. Rodgers should be back. The Bills have been vulnerable at times this year. Look, Josh Allen just got beat the hell up by Houston. So the Steelers need to put pressure on Josh Allen. That's not great analysis. That's just fact. This team, wherever they go, it's going to be determined by this defense, not the offense. The offense is not explosive enough to win games. That's just a fact. They're not. Aaron Rodgers has been a very serviceable quarterback. Has been great. Has been terrible. 6-7. I'm not going to do 6-7. He's right in the middle, though. Aaron Rodgers has been a middling quarterback this year, which if you have a great defense, you can win a lot of games with a middling quarterback. Look at what Trent Dilfer, Joe Flacco, guys like that who have won championships or played for championships, Kerry Collins, guys who have played for Super Bowl championships or conference championships that are very mediocre, but get carried by the defense. That's the only way this Steelers team now is going to be able to make the playoffs is through the defense. If it says 6-5, if they were 8-3 right now, I would say that the defense doesn't matter that much in the regular season. The Steelers are in, but they're 6-5. They get the Ravens twice. This week's a big game hosting the Bills. And the Steelers just need to not turn the ball over, not give up the field position battle to Buffalo through a bunch of 3-and-outs and then punts that gets Buffalo closer when they start their drives to the end zone. It's going to be all about the defense here. We saw what the Texans defense did against the Bills. I think Josh Allen got sacked. Is it 8 times? Anyway, Josh Allen got beat the hell up by the Texans. That's what the Steelers need to do. They've had the highest paid defense in football for the last 4 years. But it's inexcusable what's happened this year in some of these games. Giving up 30-plus points to the Jets. Letting Cincinnati bully you. The way they had the game in control, I thought, against the Chargers and gave it up. When they played great, look, they beat a damn good New England team with their defense. They caused a bunch of turnovers against the Colts because their defense was so damn good. If that defense shows up against Buffalo, give me the Steelers all day long. If that defense can play consistently for the last 6 games this season, give me the Steelers winning the division. Baltimore's not elite. Baltimore's good. The Steelers are mediocre right now. They've got to get to good. There are some favorable matchups going forward for Pittsburgh. Like I said, they've got to play the Ravens twice. That part is a bit troubling because of tiebreaker scenarios. I'd much rather would have, obviously, I'm sure you would have also wanted to have one of the games against Baltimore be without Lamar Jackson under center. The remaining games they've got here now, hosting Buffalo this week at Baltimore, damn tough. Host Miami, should be a win. At Detroit, not easy. At Cleveland, easy. Host Baltimore, week 18, last game of the season. I believe that's going to come down to that. I believe we will see Pittsburgh needing a win in that game to get into the playoffs. unless they show me something different in the next few weeks. They need to find a way to win a game they shouldn't win. Maybe it's Buffalo this week. Maybe it's at Detroit. Maybe it's at Baltimore. But they can't lose all three of those games. They just can't do it. If they lose all three and then win the other three, we're looking at 9-8 and probably out of the playoffs. They've got to find a way to win these games. The most likely win we're talking about here now for the next few games, when you've got host Buffalo, you're also then at Baltimore and at Detroit. Obviously, Buffalo, because the home game, is the best chance to win. And if the Steelers put pressure on Josh Allen, they don't have a lot of great receivers. They don't have a lot of mediocre receivers in Buffalo. Got to stop James Cook. Got to make Josh Allen uncomfortable. If they can do that, they can get a win against this Buffalo team. That changes things. Just like a win over the Chargers would have changed things. Just like a win over the Packers would have changed things. Just like, those wins would have changed things. They've backed themselves into a corner now. Is Mike Tomlin's job on the line if they miss the playoffs? Is Aaron Rodgers coming back if they miss the playoffs? Rodgers is trending to play this week, Mike Tomlin said, in the right direction. So we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can get out there. Like I said, I don't think Rodgers will not be the reason why the Steelers win a game. Now, he might have a great, end of the game drive. I'm not talking 30 seconds, 80 yards. I'm talking he might have a long, sustained drive at the end of a game with a bunch of dump-off passes and smart playing. That could happen. But the Steelers are not going to win. These must win. These could win games. Look, Cleveland, Miami, that's fine. Whatever. I'm saying, though, against Baltimore, against Detroit, and against Buffalo, Aaron Rodgers will not win the game for you. It's going to be up to the defense to do it. I'm not worried about special teams. Chris Boswell's a stud. But the defense is going to be the key for the Steelers season. And would you want it any other way? I mean, as a Steelers fan, you're looking at it right now, 6-5, tied with Baltimore. Baltimore's got the tiebreaker, whatever. Because they haven't played each other yet, there's weird, I don't know, conference record or division record, whatever the hell it is. But the Steelers control their own destiny. And when the season started, would you have taken that? Don't look at their 6-5 record. Don't look at their 7-4, 8-3, 5-6, 4-7. Don't look at that. But if I would have told you going into Thanksgiving weekend, the Steelers control their own destiny, I think most of us would have taken that. Because going into the season, Joe Burrow and the Bengals were healthy. Not a great defense still, but they were a threat. I said all along that if the Steelers and Bengals both stayed relatively healthy, I did think the Steelers could beat out the Bengals and get second place in the division and maybe in the playoffs. But the Steelers do control their own destiny, and that's important to note. Because now this week, this game against Buffalo, bigger than if they were 4-7, right? The first game in Baltimore, huge. The game against Detroit, can I say huger? Nonetheless, keep following it. I'm Jeff Thitoff. Tito, @ThitHappens on Twitter. Go to fanstreamsports.com. Check out our website. Steelers with a big one against Buffalo this week. Aaron Rodgers should be back, but the defense has to step up. If this team wants to make it to the playoffs and potentially win a playoff game, maybe even host a playoff game, it's up to the defense. We'll talk to you next time. Go Steelers.